Hey there guys, what's going on? Today we're back with another top 10 list discussing the top 10 best guns in Modern Warfare in multiplayer at the start of Season 4. There are a number of new candidates on our list, but in my opinion these are definitely the top 10 best guns in Modern Warfare right now. I'm really excited about the new season. We've been gifted with some absolutely excellent weapons and both of them do take a place on our list. Where, you might ask? Well, you will have to wait and see for those. Just quickly before we do get into our number 10 slot, let's try and get this video to 35 likes. We are very close to 1900 subscribers now, and we're having another giveaway once we do hit 2000, so make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of the other videos coming up soon. Right, so straight into our list here. Starting off our list here, we do have the Uzi. The Uzi was number 10 on our most recent list, and nothing much has changed here. Previously, when the game did launch, the Uzi was basically a dead weapon. Decent damage, but a slow fire rate and a middling recoil control made for one of the worst guns in the game. But now we do have an SMG powerhouse capable of a 2-shot kill. 2 headshots equals a kill, which is super strong, and that's why we've got the Uzi in the 10 slot on our list. We have set it up like this, of course. You'll naturally want the all that glitters variant for the improved iron sights, but for the attachments we do want the FSS Carbine Pro Barrel for the increased damage range, bullet velocity and recoil control. We do also want the no stock for the movement speed and aim down sight speed. We are after the .41 AE 32 round mags for the increase to our damage and range, the stipple grip tape of course for the aim down sight speed and sprinter fire speed, and lastly of course the Merc foregrip for the recoil control and of course the hip fire accuracy. It does make the weapon very accurate if you are planning on hip firing with this. You can even throw in a 5mW laser if you are feeling particularly spicy and do a decent amount of work. This is definitely the best Uzi class setup at the moment and a worthy inclusion in our top 10 list. In the 9 slot we have got another newcomer to our list. The MK2 Carbine is such an underrated weapon in this game. In the right hands it's actually broken. A one-shot kill to the chest at all but the furthest ranges is pretty wild. If you are hitting those shots you're basically unstoppable. Of course the MK2 Carbine is hard to use and that accounts for its low placing on this list, but with this we do get excellent range, damage, accuracy and surprisingly great handling speeds. This is a very fast handling marksman rifle class compared to the rest of the class. We've basically got an SMG equivalent. So as for our attachments we do have here, we've got the tac laser for the aim down sight speed. We've got the sniper scope for allowing us to hit sweet quick scopes. Definitely one of the more fun attachments for this weapon. Of course you can swap this out for pretty much any sight you do prefer. We do have the FSS MK2 sport cone for the aim down sight speed, the stipple grip tape for you know why at this point, and the focus perk of course, so we have that flinch resistance so our aim doesn't get sent to the moon once we do get shot. Obviously with this we do get a very fast handling mobile class with most of our attachments aimed at improving these stats while still having fantastic range. The MK2 Carbine is hilariously underrated but quite difficult to use, so it is a fantastic pick for the number 9 slot on our list. In the 8 slot we got the first of our new weapons here. The Fennec or the Vector is an absolute powerhouse, presented with a huge variety of good attachment choices that make this weapon reliable at close to medium range. With the right combination of attachments, our time to kill up close is just a little bit over 200 milliseconds, which is one of the fastest in the game, only behind the MP5 at the same ranges. A fire rate of 1100 is pretty hard to go past when we are looking for close range weapons. The Fennec does share the same damage profile as the P90, being a 4-shot kill up close and getting out to about 7 at those longer ranges, but that's not super important. We're really not worried about damage range so much with an SMG. If we are playing on close quarters maps, or at least moving between cover, trying to stay in those close quarters parts of most maps, we are pretty much unstoppable when we start spraying bullets at people. With our attachments, we've gone for a good combination of range and mobility while having enough bullets to get multiple kills. Here we do have the ZLR 18-inch deadfall barrel for the damage range, recoil control, bullet velocity and sound suppression. We're also taking the no stock here, again just for the movement speed and aim down sight speed, helps us get those sights up nice and quickly. We're also taking the Merc foregrip here for the recoil control and hip fire accuracy, just to help us stay on target, and hip firing with it is again very powerful. We can also take a 5mW laser if we want to make this even better. The 40 round drum mags of course are always going to be necessary on this particular weapon because you just fire so quickly. You can fire the default 25 round mags, all 25 shots in 1.4 seconds, which is absolutely insane, so you definitely need more bullets. And of course we're taking the stipple grip tape in our last slot. Again, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed are a must have with this particular weapon. This is definitely a great option in the game and a fantastic weapon to include in our list because of the insane fire rate. perfect for the number 8 slot on this list. In the number 7 slot, we do have the Kar 98K. My opinion of the Kar 98K does continue to go up. I just love quickscoping with this thing. I am terrible at it, as you can probably see in the gameplay in the background. I still miss shots all the time, but it's some of the most fun that you can have in Call of Duty. With a one-shot kill to the head, and I believe most of the torso, you're going to get very reliable one-shot kills. But sometimes you'll end up scratching your head as to why you didn't get a kill, because apparently you hit arms more than you would ever think you would do. People typically don't even get a chance to react if you are being accurate with your shots here. Plus, if you're a bot like me, hard scoping or just regular sniping as it's known is also very effective. As for our attachments here, again, we've gone for a very quick aim down sight speed build, in which we do have the tac laser, again, aim down sight speed. We've got the sniper scope to enable us to actually snipe. We've taken the F-Tac sport comb for the aim down sight speed. The stippled grip tape, of course, again, aim down sight speed, get those sights up super quickly. And of course, the focus perk, again, just to reduce that flinch that we do get when we do get shot while we're sniping. This allows us to stay on target, make it a little bit easier for us to hit shots. This is a very mobile class built purely for the fastest aim down sight speed available while still being an effective sniping class. Definitely my favorite sniper this year, and it's not even in the sniper class. It has seen a little slip since our last list, but not to worry, this is still one of my favorite guns for sure when I'm just looking to have a good time. Number 6, we do have the only shotgun on this list. The VLK Rogue has gone from basically unusable to one of my favorite weapons within a couple of patches. Recently, it did receive the Dragon's Breath rounds, and then it increased to its fire rate. It was a recipe for success, as the Rogue is now one of the most annoying weapons to come up against, but one of the most fun weapons to use. You just spam your shots and you'll usually get the kill. We did include the Model 680 on our list previously, but I prefer the fun that I do have when I'm playing with the Rogue. Anyway, as for the attachments here, we do have the Forge Tac Marauder for the sound suppression damage range and a tighter pellet spread. Very important attachment here, just to increase that range, keep those pellets nice and close together. We're also taking the 16-inch Warlord barrel for the damage range and a tighter pellet spread. We are taking this over the VLK Saab barrel. Despite its better damage range, it does reduce our movement speed by about 3 to 4%, which is not really worth the trade-off. We are also taking the 5mm laser here for the sprint to fire speed and hip fire accuracy, which is fantastic for hip firing, sprinting around corners. You just absolutely hammer the trigger and people just die, basically. Next, we are taking the no stock for the movement speed again and aim down sight speed, super important on most aggressive classes. And we are also taking the most important attachment here with the Dragon's Breath rounds. With this, we do get incendiary damage at the cost of a little bit of damage range, but this is a straight upgrade to the stock shells, which you can't really go past. This is a fantastic option on the VLK Rogue. The VLK Rogue is now a fantastic shotgun that is actually hilariously good fun to use. You basically just empty your mag and get frags, as you can see in the background. This is a really simple gun for the 6 slot. In the 5 slot, we do have the Ram 7. I've always considered the Ram 7 one of the best guns in the game, and it's been at number 2, 3, 4, and now number 5 on our list. It does continue to slide down, unfortunately, but I just love weapons with high fire rates. You do really shred through people, so when you basically add an M4 with a higher fire rate, I was sold on this weapon. Good damage, good range, fast fire rate, good handling, a good mobility. Everything about the Ram 7 is just pretty good. It does get let down a bit by not having a no stock attachment, so you are forced to move and handle more slowly than some of the other assault rifle options. As for our attachments here, we are taking the monolithic suppressor, again, just for that increase to our damage range and sound suppression. We do want the FSS Ranger barrel. Again, like all the good barrels here, we do get range, velocity, and control here. Very, very important to grab this, because without it, the Ram 7 does have a little bit of recoil. We're also taking the Commando foregrip here, just to not reduce our aim down sight speed any further than it already is, and control our horizontal recoil. We're taking the 50 round mags, because the default 30 round mag does sometimes feel a little bit short when we are firing this particular weapon for a little while. And of course, the stipple grip tape is the best option we do have to increase our handling speed. Yeah, like I said, unfortunately we don't have a no stock here. I mean, just cut this off. Cut this part of the weapon off. I'm sure it's not super important, and that would make it a load better. Another one of those attachments that we do need to make it compete with other weapons, but this is still one of the better assault rifles in the game. It just gets outshadowed or outclassed by a lot of other weapons now, unfortunately. I really do like the Ram 7 though. It's one of my personal favorite weapons, just because the iron sights are very clean and the high fire rate are very strong, which is perfect for the number 5 on our list. In the 4 slot here, now this is going to be a controversial one. We do have the Grau 556. I know, I can already hear the outrage in the comments. How dare you put my favorite weapon at number 4? I get it. I'm a huge fan of the Grau 556 myself. I even dropped my first tactical nuke with it the other day, but that was with a full attachment class setup. Like, I figure a weapon that I can drop a nuke with should be very high on this list, but we'll talk about more nukes in the number 2 slot. Anyway, the Grau 556 is fantastic for pretty much every situation. Great at range with fantastic accuracy, a passing score at close range due to the decent fire rate, and with the right attachments, good handling speed. And as for our attachments here, we are taking the monolithic suppressor for the range increase and the sound suppression, the FSS 20.8 inch Nexus barrel with the damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control again, the Commando foregrip again, the 50 round mags instead of the 60 round mags just to reduce that aim down sight speed and movement speed loss that we would get with the largest magazine possible, and the most important one, probably the no stock, just for the extra movement speed. This allows us to be very, very aggressive with our assault rifle classes, and it's a fantastic option for this one particularly. This is definitely one of the best weapons in the game for sure, but I think we're being outclassed by 3 other weapons in the game at the moment, which has seen our previous number 2 slide down 2 slots to number 4. Number 3 slot, we are going with the MP5. Everyone knows that this is a fantastic weapon with the fastest time to kill in the game up close at a touch over 200 milliseconds, even faster than the Fennec, despite the Fennec having an 1100 rounds per minute fire rate. The MP5 is by far the best SMG in the game with a decent fire rate, great damage per bullet, good range, fast handling, and mobility. It's basically got it all, and as for our attachments here, we're looking to add to these already fantastic qualities. Again, we are taking the monolithic integral suppressor for the sound suppression and bullet velocity. Hot tip here, any barrel that does say it does increase bullet velocity also increases our damage range. Basically, this is a 15% increase to our damage range, but it's just not included in the stats, which is a little bit annoying. We're also taking the FTAC collapsible stock. Again, this is basically just the no stock movement speed and aim down sight speed. Makes us move around the map a lot faster, makes us a little bit more mobile, get those sights up very, very quickly. Again, super important attachment. We're taking the Merc foregrip here to help us control that recoil from the MP5, which does have a little bit of natural kick, so this does make it very, very easy to hit those shots. We're also taking the 45 round mags, but the 10mm auto 30 round mags are a good option as well for that extra damage and range. This can be useful on sort of medium range fights and onwards. So basically you can take your pick here. These are both very, very powerful. And lastly, again, stipple grip tape makes us handle faster, makes us move faster. Everything about this is always good, and it's pretty much a must have on most class setups at this point. The MP5 is definitely the best SMG in the game and one of the best overall weapons for sure. It just falls down a little bit when you do compare its range to our last 2 weapons though, so that's why it's at number 3 slot on our list. Number 2, this is usually where the Grau 556 goes, but with Season 4 we've been gifted a fantastic new assault rifle to play with. The CR56A Max, which is a dumb name, is an absolute powerhouse. We get a 3-shot chest kill out to about 40-ish meters, which is really powerful. Decent recoil control with the right attachments, good handling and movement speeds, enough bullets to spray down range with the 45 round mags, and a 2-shot kill to the head. Double dink someone in the head and you have got a kill. I mentioned nukes when we were talking about the Grau 556. I did actually drop a nuke with the CR56A Max. My second this week after taking like 9 months to get my first. We get 2 in a week. Anyway, I didn't even have good attachment for the weapon. I just had some pretty basic stuff. I didn't even have a barrel included. Like, I'm pretty convinced and really, really impressed by the CR56. And as for our attachments, we're taking the monolithic suppressor, again, just for a little bit more range on our option. The XRK Zodiac S44 barrel for the damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. This is a really important attachment just to get that little bit extra recoil control. Helps us be a little bit more effective at range and makes our bullets go a little bit faster. Really, really powerful option here. We're pretty much always taking the no stock option on every single assault rifle that we can with the movement speed and aim down sight speed. Just allows us to push around a lot easier, be a lot more aggressive, and get those sights up very, very quickly. Again, we've got those 45 round mags just to fill the extra bullets on those longer streaks, and we can just spray for a little bit longer without having to reload. Makes us super, super strong. And lastly, you can basically take your pick between the Commando foregrip or the Merc foregrip. I'm a fan of the Commando just because we don't lose that aim down sight speed and it controls our horizontal recoil. As I said, the CR56A Max is an absolute powerhouse and should not be taken lightly. It's maybe a little bit too strong, but I think it's perfect for the number 2 slot on our list. In the number 1 slot, of course, we've got the M4A1. We're not going to spend too much time talking about our number 1 here. You already know everything that you need to know about this already. Our attachments do follow a similar vein to most of our other assault rifles in this list, with the monolithic suppressor, the Corvus Custom Marksman, or the stock M16 Grenadier. Both of these do offer damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control in varying amounts. We've got the Commando foregrip, again, just for the recoil stabilization. That horizontal recoil is very important here. The 50 round mags, again, over the 60 round mags, just so we don't get the extra movement speed and aim down sight speed loss from the 60 round mags. And of course, the no stock is probably the most important attachment here, just to allow us to move around the map more quickly. Just makes us a lot more powerful. If you aren't running this class by now, your M4 is either built for some specific game mode or it's just plain built wrong. Simple as that. The M4 is still the god gun in Modern Warfare, still the gun all weapons are compared to, but now in the CR56A Max, the M4 might have a little bit of competition here, and we will see what happens as the season does progress. Anyway guys, that was our latest top 10 best guns in Modern Warfare, each with a very viable and powerful class setup. These are some of the best class setups in the game, with some fantastic new additions to the game in the Fennec and the CR56 AMAX. Thank you very much for watching. We are very close towards 1900 subscribers now, and we're having another giveaway once we do hit 2000, so make sure you do hit subscribe with those notifications turned on if you haven't already done so you don't miss out on any of that or any more of the upcoming videos. I will see you in the next one. Bye!